everybody, this is Matt Walker with the Choir Director Corner, here with you today with 5 breath warm-ups for your choir. Now before we get to the breath warm-ups, a little bit about philosophy, how I teach breathing for singing. So we talked with our singers about the 4 stages of breath. Number 1 is the inhalation. Number 2 is the idea of suspension. Now some people use the phrase support, supporting your sound. We talk about suspension. So it's the idea that your body still feels like it's inhaling while you are singing. Then number 3, the exhalation. And then number 4, recovery and preparation. Now, if you've got a younger or an inexperienced choir, you're going to talk quite a bit about the inhalation phase and how you want to take a breath. So for my younger singers, I talked a little bit about these floaties that you have maybe when you're really little and you went to the swimming pool. You've got the floaty around your waist. So the idea is that when you take a breath, you are filling up that floaty around your waist with that air. That keeps them from breathing too high and keeps that sense of breathing down and out when they take a breath. Okay? But then, once you get past that, you're going to talk a lot about the suspension phrase and how singers are supposed to be using their breath for the production of sound. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that in our warm-ups today. So number 1, the first warm-up is a simple lip trill. And so with my singers, I just do a little vocal exercise with lip trills. Every few half steps, then I will have them add an extra turn onto the end. So then they would do 4 to do to so to do and back and forth. And so every so often you add an extra turn onto the end. So they are really working on extending themselves for the length of the phrase because it's all supposed to be on one breath. Another thing that I emphasize with them with lip trills is that they should be pretty free of tension here. They don't want the jaw, the muscles of the jaw or the tongue or the mouth to get too tight. You want to feel like that propulsion of that air is totally coming from their core, and they're not directing that, managing that with their muscles here. Number 2 is a warm-up from Tim Saley called Dive Up. This is also a great warm-up to talk about posture as well. So when the singers are standing, if you think about the ceiling as being a pool, and so you're going to take your hands and join them just like you're going to dive up into the pool. And so when you breathe in, it's the reason why you have your hands here is that it's easier to feel that low expansion when you've got your arms extended. So you take a breath. And then as you exhale on a hiss, your hands and your arms are going to come back down to your side. So I take a breath. And then back down. So the idea is that as your arms are coming down, that this nice tall posture that you've created here, especially with the rib cage, that doesn't start to slump, but that stays in that nice high position as you come down, okay? And then oftentimes when they come down to the very end, I'll have them just give a little shoulder roll to the back just so that they aren't holding any tension in their shoulders, okay? Number 3 then is a warm-up called the power breath. Now this is from a book. There's also a video entitled The Breathing Gym from a couple of guys that are primarily instrumentalists that have put together a collection of warm-ups. So the power breath gets your singers to really think about how much they can actually expand when they are breathing in. It's short and it's quick, but it's powerful. So their hands start together out like this, and in 1 count, they're going to take in as much air as they can. And then in another count, they're going to blow all that air out. And so they simply, when they breathe in, the hands come out to the side, and then when they exhale, they come back in. Now, notice that there was no clapping sound. This will prevent a lot of noise from your singers, but you should feel like your hands pressed together. So there's a very athletic movement as they're coming back together. So again, that's a breathe in. And one more. And again, you are always thinking down and out with that inhalation. You want to remind your singers that they're staying away from this heaving or this high breath, but always thinking down and out with that expansion, always thinking about filling up that floaty as they breathe in. Number 4 is a simple breathe and hiss. And so I start with an inhalation of 4 beats, and then they're going to hiss for 16. So when you breathe in, and then they hiss for 16. So when they get towards the very end, I tell them how many beats they are then breathing in for the next repetition. So we never have a break between the first repetition to the next repetition. They're always cycling through the next time. So we do 4 and 20, we do 6 and 24, we do 6 and 30, and then we do 8 and 36, and then finally the last one we do is 4 and 40. So emphasizing to them that they're not always going to have a lot of time to breathe, but that they know they're going to have to go to 40, so that breath, all that breath that they took in for 8 beats, they now have to do that in 4. And so that's sort of another idea where that power breath comes in, is doing that vast amount of expansion, but also being able to do it quickly. And then finally, we've got a warm-up that's called elastic band. Now, I actually have some elastic bands. They're like the bands that you find at the gym for like Pilates and things like that. And so we usually just have to use these once. And so we are practicing breath, and they hold it at their waist level, so it's not up here, but they're mimicking where they are breathing in. And so you want that here at the waist level. And so when they breathe in, and then that expansion continues as they start to sing a phrase. Now you can use whatever phrase that you want. I use a simple do, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, re, do. And you can sing it on solfege, you can sing it on an ah, whatever you want to sing it on. Or use a totally different phrase. But you want something that's legato and something that's going to make them work to be able to get to the very end. It's all supposed to be on one breath. So again, that's why I start off here. Do, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, re, do. And then I go and move up a half step and I do it again. Do, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, re, do. So that gets them into this idea that as they start to sing, the work isn't done. Oftentimes they will think, oh, I took the breath, my work is done. I'm just kind of going to let this breath go, and I'm not going to do anything physically here to maintain that. And this teaches them that no, the work is just beginning. And they want to maintain that down and out expansion, just like when they breathe in, that suspension feeling as they then sing through the phrase. It's not rigid, but it should feel very flexible and very athletic. So those are the 5 warm-ups, the breath warm-ups that I have for you today. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you use them with your choir. Let us know, which of these do you find useful? Do you find most beneficial with your singers? And check down in the notes below. You'll see our new Facebook community. www.choirdirectorcornercommunity.com is where you can find us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Until next time.